change your results, you have to bury that person you are now. Because the life you want demands someone else right now. We've got the blueprint. It's time to get up. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where your comfort zone gets crushed. Yeah, some days, someday stops being an option. I'm Keith Bilous, and you are here on Mornings in the Lab, the only morning show to help you guys get your ass out of bed and get you going. And if you came here hoping for some warm hugs and motivational quotes, you're on the wrong show. Yeah, just go somewhere else. Go to the show over there. You're not going to get that stuff here. No, I was supposed to drop the F-bomb, but I'm going to warn you, there's an X-rated, R-rated show here. But listen, this show is about burning down the person you've been. So you're rolling over right now, waking up, starting your day, and you're thinking, I don't like that guy. Get rid of him. Yeah, get rid of them. Today, you're going to build someone new from the ashes. We're going to help you get up, start your day, and start becoming the man you want to be. And before I do go any further, let me warn you, we are a raw, and as I said, we're a raw and R-rated show. Yep, true story. If you got those little ears around, you know, the little ones just not on your dog. With little ones, it's time to throw on some headphones or bribe them with the iPad. We know how that works, don't we, parents? Give them the iPad and put on some Bluey. Right, Flynn? Put some Bluey on for the kids. That will get them out of the room, because this show is probably not the most kid-friendly show that you have around. Listen, today is about stepping out of that cycle and building the identity of someone who takes control. You're sitting here right now going, do I want to go? Do I want to go? Do I want to go? Do I want to snooze? No, you want to go. You want to be that superhero. You want to be that business athlete that you know you are. You want to do it before the day controls you. Listen, we got Daniel Intranell joining us live. He's not just a coach, he's a builder of identities, helping men ditch that dad bod. Oh, yeah. You know, a little dad bod for the fit bod. We talked yesterday, the fit bod, the fat bod. Hey, just replace the vowel in the middle and you can have progress. Yep, true story. Jory Jansen's back for protein break. We're going to talk intermittent fasting, continue the conversation. Should you intermittent fast or should you eat all day? Or do you want to carry a burger in the Ziploc like Jon Andersen does along the way? So we got Jory coming up here as well. We got Jon and Marty for a killer in the gym segment. Guys, you're going out on the town tonight? You're going out of town this weekend? You want to put the nice t-shirt on? You want to have the big fat gut hanging over the belly? Oh, yeah, these guys are going to tell you what to wear. They're going to tell you what to do in the gym to make yourself look jacked for a night out on the town. And hey, Mario Hernandez with us is coming up later in the community corner. He's bringing along somebody with him. Yep, Charlie Samiento in a special session of our community corner segment, which we are going to continue bringing to life here. So, Nation, I invite you, buckle up, follow the show, subscribe to it, and hit the like button if you like what we're saying here. And remember, 2 days from now, tomorrow, International Peanut Butter and Chocolate Day, otherwise known as Halloween. The day after that begins No Month, the month you can start saying no to something getting in the way of your big yeses. Listen, you can't have both. You can't have those big goals if you're going to fuck it all up along the way by just saying yes to everything. True fucking story. All right, let's go over here. Let's introduce the team to the flag here. We got Marty in the yellow, less brunches, more crunches. We got Tina black on black with the white headset, and of course, Johnny with the...
Oh, did he freeze again?
Oh, don't start that again, Keith.
I think he's back.
Well, I'm here. We got Richie Ingram here as well, joining us all the way from Austin, Texas. What's going on, Richie?
Oh, not much, guys. Just glad to be here.
Yes. So I got to bring it right to the table here, Nation. If you turned into the show yesterday, you know that Richie was part of the conversation yesterday. John was just taken aback by Richie's svelte, flowing locks and so forth. Maybe we have some time today, Johnny. We can pull something up. But I know you were enamored with that image you saw a couple days ago, Johnny.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, I was.
I showed you something, and you're like, who is that dude? I'm like, that's Rich. And John, tell me what you said.
I said, Jesus Christ. I said, give me some of that Rico Suave hair. I said, Keith, get me a wig. I want to look like that.
There you go, man. Hey, look. it's 110 degrees here in Austin during the summertime. So when you're doing a 6-hour run in the middle of the day, it's got to fucking go, man. So I'm going it back out, though. I'm going it back out for you. For you.
Someone said that yesterday too. Who said
please, because I'll tell you what, brother. I got nothing. So I'm gonna live vicariously through you.
There you go. There you go.
So those of you that might be wondering, I feel like I just need to maybe quickly pull this up here. So, Nation, we are of course.
Yeah, let's have a look. I'm gonna get excited all over again.
I do agree. We got to pull it up for our audience here and our good friend Richie Ingram here. Like, just the flow, man. Like it is just. Where is it here, Jimmy? I'm gonna pull it up right here. There we go. Boom. Like look at that flow, man. It's just awesome. Like look, Matt, Johnny.
I'm telling you. So Keith was showing me this website. We're screen sharing. He's scrolling down. I said, wait a minute. Wait, stop. I said, go back up. And all of a sudden, boom, there. I said, who in the fuck is that? He goes, that's Richie. I was like, you got to be shitting me. I said, oh, my God, I need some of that Rico Suave stuff. Come on, baby.
Man, look, I was on a podcast a couple days ago. And when my face popped up, the girl was like, I don't know that I want to interview you anymore. She basically told me I was ugly because I cut my hair. And I was like, I can't do anything about that. But yeah, true story.
Well, brother, from a woman's standpoint, I can imagine she's looking at this thinking, man, I can't wait to interview this handsome son of a bitch. And then all of a sudden you come without the hair. She's like, this is going to be a much harder interview now. I can get it. She was hot for you. Christ, look at that.
Oh, she had her color palettes out and everything. Fucked up everything she had going on. So whatever.
We're talking.
But here's the thing, though. Once you start to talk, it doesn't matter what hairdo you got, brother. Just to give you that love right there, it doesn't matter.
Man.
Once somebody hears you,
sweet.
I'm telling you, the story you can't help but to love Richie once he tells you what it's all about.
Thanks, man. When I get out to Tahoe, I'm gonna let you just massage through my long curls.
Oh, that could be a special episode of Mornings in the Lab.
That would be hilarious.
Just Johnny stroking Rich's locks.
I might
just try to grab that. I might just try to grab this shit and pull it off and give it to myself. So be careful, Richie.
I'll have plenty.
Hey, Keith, as the only brother on the show, those aren't locks, man. Those are not locks.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Hey, look, I'm sitting here. I got hair too, so I'm sitting here listening to Keith keep calling them locks. I'm like, he got one more time to say locks, and I got to interject.
Now I got to call him out.
Yeah, Keith, sorry, brother. I love you, man, but that's
funny.
That's not locks.
No, they're not locks. Yeah, no, they're not locks. That's pretty good.
Real quick, I gotta. What is the definition of a lock? I gotta be honest. I couldn't, if I was asked to define it, I couldn't do it. What's the definition, Marty?
So basically, you're locking your hair. So you're doing some type of style to it. You're like twisting it together, pretty much, and that forms a lock. So Rich had like
you're talking like lock the door lock,
like dreadlocks.
Okay,
so I was thinking Rich had a flow. I think it's a flow.
Yeah. Rich
for some reason I thought flow and locks was the same. Yeah, I was confused. Clearly, I don't have it there, so I don't understand the language.
I think
if I take these out, I got flow too. It's just a little bit curlier than Rich's, but that's just a flow. It ain't locks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We should have Marty just grow that right out. Just grow that motherfucker right out, Marty. Just grow it right out, man. Like
I need to come on the show with my hair out one day.
You totally do. Yes, you do, man.
I did it a while back before John joined.
I remember. Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. Good morning, Amy. I see you in the comments, and good morning, Bees. If you're my Bees, good morning, brother. You're up early today, man. I guess you're going to school here today. So if you're my Bees, I guess hey Bees was shaking, brother. But I didn't know your name was Bees on YouTube. I thought your name was good.
I don't think that's your Bees.
I don't think it's my Bees.
I don't think that's your Bees.
Hey, I got something for you guys right now during the morning loop. Richie. Well, so Richie, maybe Rich, this is for you.
Oh man, we're gonna have one of those days again.
Well, I'm just thinking aloud right now that married people looking to have an affair are using the bell pepper technique to find partners. Yeah, to hell with Ashley Madison or to hell with pineapples. I see Johnny shaking his head.
Well, I mean, because my whole thing is this: if you're fucking married, what are you doing wanting to have an affair? Get a fucking divorce. Jesus Christ. That's what you want to do. Play the game by the rules. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you what the humans are doing. I'm just telling what the humans are doing. And apparently, Johnny, the humans are going to the grocery store. So if we see Richie going to the grocery store and he's picking up a couple of red bell peppers and he's putting them in his cart and he's sticking the 2 stems up and walking around the grocery store.
What?
He
That's
might
ridiculous.
He might just signal to somebody in the grocery store with him that he's interested in. So apparently, in Tesco's in the UK, there's a dating website in the UK that the community has developed this covert cheating dialogue, and it's called the Bell Pepper Code. So if you're going to go to the store with your partner, Flinner, and walk around the store with Aaron,
I guess.
Then just put up a couple peppers. You might just tell the person walking by you that you're open for business. Just saying.
Do they have a different one if you're a man seeking a man or a woman seeking a woman? Like, I got to be specific.
Oh, they have to. They have to.
I can't just have peppers just being all open.
Well,
yours would be like a peach.
Yeah, I have a little peach with a little stem, and if the leaf is facing to the left, I'm down for women. If it's facing to the right, let's go with men.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. Right. So apparently, it's a thing.
Well, why don't you just get a big fucking cucumber if you're looking for a man? Let's make the signal clear here. Stand it up, nice and tall.
Covert.
Just walk around with it.
You could have a cucumber and still be covert. Doesn't mean you have to be swinging it around,
Or an eggplant. Eggplant works too.
Yeah, eggplant. I don't think John uses emojis.
Ridiculous.
I don't think Johnny uses the emojis. No.
But I was gonna say, God forbid someone innocently wants some peppers. They just want to cook something.
Right?
Now you got the wife on. Why are you buying peppers? Well, I want to cook with peppers. Is that okay? Yeah. What is going on?
It reminds me of Phil from Modern Family. You know how he's always like fucking stuff up. Y'all see that episode where like the gay guy actually comes to his house?
Yeah.
And he's like spilling stuff on him, taking his shirt off and rubbing it around. And the guy tried to make out with him.
He's like, I don't get it. Yeah.
So there you go, nation. If you're looking to have some action, get divorced. Yeah.
That's the first step. Yes.
Or just go to
just talk with your partner and ask if it's cool.
That's right.
That could be cool too.
Yeah. Or
just divorce is kind of complicated.
That could get complicated.
It's a little complicated.
Well,
if you know what? Just talk with your person. That's what John's saying. Right?
Don't get married.
And the precursor to this whole thing is if your partner is going on their phone when you're getting down, you know that you better be looking at for them in the goddamn store with the peppers standing up.
If you're getting down for more than 5 minutes, maybe.
Hey.
I totally agree, man. I agree, man. And if people start taking accountability for their shortcomings, maybe this would happen. But
speaking in code.
Oh man, there you go. So next time you guys go to the store, watch out for the bell pepper aisle because you never know who might come knocking on your door if you're carrying the bell peppers. So, but listen, let's get to accountability check, and we're going to come back and keep the conversation going on transforming your morning routine, getting up as a new human being. We got Rich Ingram here with us today, of course, Johnny, Marty, Flynn, and of course myself, Keith Bilous. The accountability check-in on the Mornings in the Lab, Keith and Friends, where we build business athletes, turning you into a superhero. Yes. All right. Every morning you face that choice. What's the choice? Get over or hit the snooze button. Nah. Every morning you face that choice. You either step into the identity you're building or you stay just exactly where you are. Could you imagine just kind of waking up, just being the same human every single day, not moving forward? Isn't that just kind of being a quicksand? Isn't that kind of moving backwards? Comfort, old habits, excuses, they're just waiting. They're always there, ready to pull you back the second you hesitate. Oh, yeah, you're in the right direction. All of a sudden, old habit pulls you back. So is that going to be the better version of you? The one that gets up on that first alarm or the one that sits back and hits the snooze? Or are you going to be the one who follows through and who doesn't negotiate with comfort? You heard yesterday, that little brain in your head, negotiate, trying to get you to do the bad things. But today, what's the version showing up for you today? Is it the version that acts like the person you say you want to be, that future one you want to be? Or is it the one that's going to relate back to the same old excuses? I can't get it done. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll wait till next week. Really? The same excuses get you the same results. That same story that's kept you exactly where you are right now. So yeah, go hit the snooze button. Just go back to fucking sleep. Be the loser that you are. Or get up, get going, attack the day, and let that guy over there be the loser that he is. That's what I invite you to be. Be that new guy that you want to be, or that you aspire to be, or that you are. There's your accountability check-in with some new words from the Uncle Keith. All right, Jimmy, let's bring him back on stage. Now I'm going to go back over here. Listen, I'm telling you, if this is hitting home, if it's hitting the bone, don't just sit there. No, subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends. Tell your buddies. Don't just call them. Say, hey, I got this morning show I tuned into. And while you're at it, send this to someone else who needs the reminder. Mornings aren't just mornings. They are momentum. You hear Johnny, he gets up and gets on the rebounder, the trampoline, and starts moving his body. Move. Why? Because it creates momentum. Marty he drops down and does push-ups. Marty gets his ass out of bed and drops his push, goes. Why? Because he gets momentum. What's Rich do? He gets up and fucking curls his hair. Yeah, it's exactly what he does. So guys, get up, get your day going, and rock and roll out there. Yeah. Right, Richie? That's what you do.
That's what I do.
All right, let's get into some building identity through morning actions. And I'm going to get into the center stage segment where we talk about transformation. And Richie, let's lean into you, brother. Let's bring Johnny back on stage here. Let's talk. Sometimes you think we talk repetitively about the same things, but often all it needs is somebody to hear the same message and something, tricks for them. I really want to get into your morning routine, Rich, and your transformation and how you transform your mornings, but knowing that they more than likely probably start the night before, right? Knowing that they set your net up the night before, because John Marty, we know Rich is an endurance guy. He's not getting up at 6, 7, 8 o'clock. He's probably getting up at 2, 3, 4 a.m., doing 2, 3, 4 hours, 5 hours of work before most of the world gets up. Am I wrong, Rich Ingram?
No, that's right. I mean, even right now, we're in the off season, but I'm still, I have a 3-hour run tomorrow morning, so everything's going to start this evening. So I prep all my water, all my food for tomorrow's run, so I can just grab and go. And so normally, what I do when I wake up, I hit boom on my coffee machine, and it literally is a trigger for me to meditate. And so I sit down, I meditate, and then as soon as I'm done, I grab my cup of coffee and I start doing the dishes. I listen to what's called a Blink. It's an app, and it's just a summary of different books. And so while I'm doing the dishes, I'm getting this knowledge in my head of something new every morning. Yeah, it's amazing. So I've already, I've quieted, calmed my mind, and now I'm starting to, spike my mind through education. And then as soon as I grab my stuff and I go. I'm out the door. I'm headed to the trail already. And so that's what I'll do tomorrow morning. All my stuff's already prepped. I head out, and then I'm back to the house by 7 o'clock in the morning to do hygiene and start my work day.
Yeah.
So that's my routine, man.
Hey,
most people are just waking up, and you've already put in a 3-hour run, done some meditating, primed your mind. You got a half a day on the rest of the world. I love it, brother.
Yeah. And you walk in. I mean, the office. I work from home most days, but I walk in and I'm fucking ready to dominate, because I'm so confident starting my workday because I've worked out my body, I've worked out my mind, I've worked out my spiritual self. So I'm in an emotional state, prepared to attack whatever the day has. It's an amazing feeling, because you're also you have this feeling of accomplishment as well. Like nothing that happens today is going to be harder than anything that I've already done. Right.
So Rich, this didn't happen by accident for you. Let's lean into this with me. This isn't just some cookie cutter program or some quick fix that just you discovered in your journey of life. It's about building a lifestyle where your health becomes your daily, hear me clearly, your daily identity, your non-negotiable. But Rich, how? And let me expand on the how. There's somebody laying here right now listening to our show, maybe driving in their truck, and they're almost at the how. They're going, I don't know, man. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how Rich does it. I don't know how he gets his ass out of bed at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning and just does it all. I want to be like Rich, but I don't know how to make this part of my daily identity. How, Rich?
So for me, and I love what Dr. MC said. I think it was last week when she was on, and I've really tried to focus more on this because it's what I was doing, but I didn't realize it, is putting value on the end state. So it started for me is I knew that I needed to have some physical activity in my life to maintain my emotional stability. So what do? I go and sign up for a race. And it is so important for me to get to that finish line that everything that I'm doing is I know is going to build to that. So that's how it started. But with my morning routine and starting new habits, the way that I always start is I have a checklist. And I always have every day I have a daily roll up that everything has a block next to it. And so check. And that's telling my brain I've accomplished something, no matter how minute it is. So that's how I start. It just with small little habits. And then all of a sudden they become triggers for the next thing. But you have to associate value to, why am I doing this? What kind of change am I going to see, or am I trying to attain? And that's how you get to it.
Marty, what about you, man? So there's a guy listening right now, and you've talked about your morning routine, but again, let's just really lean into how. Like, how did you do it? Like, how do you do it every single day, and how do you not negotiate with yourself, Marty?
Real quick though, Rich, I wanted to just commend you on that little checklist type of thing. That does something to your brain when you see those wins throughout the day.
Absolutely.
That keeps you going too. That's good.
Absolutely.
I do that as well.
Yes.
But yeah, back to your question, Keith. I see the results of doing the morning routine and not doing the morning routine. How effective I am, how productive I am with and without it. And so I understand that, at my age, if I want to get to be like you, Rich, and John, I need to continue on this path, right? I gotta build that momentum as the years goes on. Like Johnny says, one good day turns into one good week. One good week turns into a month, and 1 month, you got a great year. So I understand that as I get older.
And a great year can change your life.
There you go. Oh yeah, my bad. And a great year can change your life. So I understand that as I get older, I'm separating myself from my peers, and I see what my peers don't do, and I see the difference in our lives and how we elevate over the years.
You know what's interesting, Johnny? John, I want to come to you and go back and forth with you on this one, Johnny. So you said something to me a few weeks ago about you just know how to do something. I just know how to do it, and I don't write it down. It just happens by habit. And I'm the same way. We've both been around this planet long enough. We've done a few rotations around the planet, Johnny, you and I. And I hear Rich saying he writes everything down, and so does Marty. You know what, Johnny? There's sometimes for me to create that awareness again when I'm going through a cycle of life. I actually find myself reverting back to like a Richie or Marty method where I'm writing shit down again, or I'm using an app, or I'm like, okay, I know I got to eat my 200 grams of protein a day, but then it's like, I know it. But then sometimes when I'm really like, okay, I got to fucking write this down so that I do it. It's a game changer, man. And I bring it out because there's guys right now, and I'm trying to lean into this how. For me, it's that
I got you, baby. I got this how. Oh yeah. It's good. It's good you saved me for the last, because I teach this shit. Yes. So basically, just so you know, I still write shit down. I've been writing shit down. I've been writing this stuff down in the morning since I got my book started in 1994. And I got these books all the way to today, literally. I've got a book that represents every year. But here's the deal. When I teach this shit, someone's like, how do I get started? I got you. Don't sweat it. All we're going to do, depending on the level of the person. So let's just say we're kind of in an intermediate person where I know that he can take, I can lean on him a little bit. So what we're going to do is, first off, we are going to write this shit down. So it's going to be a list of what needs to be done, because the night before, because that programs the subconscious. So it's going to be a series of easy wins. First thing is going to be a glass of water out of bed. The next thing might be, clothes are laid out. Everybody's different. But there's going to be a series of things that are already done the night before. Then the key is close your eyes and visualize going through it the night before. Actually, once you get to the end of your list, feel that emotion, how good it feels to get that done. Now your mind doesn't know that this physically didn't happen. So all you got to do is fucking wake up and physically execute and go get that feeling. You've already laid the fucking roadmap. Your brain knows exactly what to do. You've already done it once before. It's always the first time that's a motherfucker. Well, don't make the first time the physical time. Mentally live it out. Boom. There's number one. maybe you got to live it out a few times. I've lived out things 3-4 times before I physically do it the first time. Because once your brain knows what to do, the body just fucking follows. And bam, next thing you know, there's your how. You get out of the gate. Now, the only thing I got to say for people listening, if you like this, just don't try to do too much. Your first day needs to be a series of real easy wins. God damn it, that was nice. You probably want to do some more. Perfect. But your commitment is small. And you get that done. And each day you can put a little bit more on. And all you're doing is you're just slowly creating this morning routine that works for you, that feels good. But here's the ticket. If you do it right, you are excited to get up and do this shit.
Yes.
Now you're on the right side of the fence. Nobody's got to convince you to do shit anymore because you want to do it. A person that wants to do something is going to do it far easier and far more often than something he has to do.
Yes.
Game over. Game over, baby.
Hey, you're hanging out with Keith, Rich, Marty, and Jon Andersen. You were talking your morning routine, transforming your morning routine. We got Daniel and Torella hanging out with us in the green room. We're going to bring them up here in about 2 minutes, Jimmy. We're going to Marty Fit Tip. We'll bring Daniel up for deep dive. But I just want to take a quick minute and lean back into this. Johnny, you said something which I think really needs to be overstated. And Rich, I'm going to come to you this on what you bless you. I'm going to come to you as this as well. It's easy when you're excited to want to get up and do 10 things. You're going to fail at 9 of them. Because I've been there, right, Richie? You're getting up going, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And you're like, fuck, I just failed at 8 of them. So as excited as you are, just get one thing done, celebrate it, win it, and then go back and maybe do one more thing again tomorrow or do one thing again tomorrow. But Rich, coming to you, I'm thinking about you during your endurance journeys. There's times when you're like, okay, I'm doing 10 things and it ain't working. All right, Richie?
Yeah, so one of two things. One, I mean, look, you're going to miss sometimes. And our ability to just keep going is what's going to set us apart from everyone else. As soon as you miss something or as soon as you fail at something, if you just wallow in your sorrow, well, you're missing the next opportunity. Just fucking show up the next day and go after it and keep showing up and keep showing up. And that's all you got to do. Whatever happened in the past, you can't change that. So fuck it. Just let it go, show up the next day, ready to attack the next thing. So, if you're constantly missing something, then maybe you need to reevaluate your plan, right? And that's okay. We have to do that. We have to be flexible. But don't worry about one miss. Just show up the next day and get it then.
I like that. Yeah, because your excitement is going to fuel you to perhaps failure. So embrace the excitement and go. Speaking of going, Marty, let's do this, brother. Jimmy, we're going to bring Marty up to get the
what time it is, brother.
We know what time it is.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Then we're going to bring Daniel and Torella up for the deep dive. We're going to continue the conversation around transforming your morning, guys, to get your ass out of bed and become the better guy that you are. Marty, let's get it, brother.
Let's get it. All right. Today, for the fitness tip, we're going to talk about how to build muscle effectively. But you need exercises that's going to target stability, balance, and your range of motion, not just strength. Of course, we want to get stronger. Of course, we want strength, but we got to focus on some other things too. So here's 3 underrated, powerful moves that's going to help you focus on those things. We got the barbell squat. All right. Me and Johnny talk about it all the time. It's going to help you build a solid lower body. You're going to hit your quads. You're going to hit hamstrings, glutes, and your core. And you're also, when you're holding that bar on your upper body, you're working the upper body as well. You got the bar on those traps, those shoulders and those lats are working as well. So this is going to be the foundation for not only just powerful legs, but your stability as well. We got pull-ups, right? Of course, we know pull-ups, great for back, great for biceps, great for core engagement. But when you do these with different grips, you're going to hit every angle of the back and boost your upper body strength. And of course, you got range of motion and stability there as well. And lastly, overhead press, stronger shoulders, stronger triceps, stronger upper chest. This is going to challenge your core, and it's also going to work your lats on the way down on that eccentric movement, right? So this here, while you're working that core, this is going to fire up that stability as well. So these exercises are for muscle growth, but it's balanced, it's powerful, and they are functional. So remember that when you're doing these, add some progressive overload to it and watch those things get better. That's the fitness tip for today.
Every single day, 8:30 Eastern time with our man, the boy, CMartyFit, Christopher Martin. You know the boy. All right, Richie Ingram, Jon Andersen. Of course, we got Daniel Intorella joining us here. The guy who Keith with the big win for Daniel last night, teaching Daniel he can connect his AirPods to his laptop. But hey, Daniel's not just some fitness coach. No, he's not. He's the guy who builds custom playbooks for men ready to ditch the dad bod. Yeah, and run their lives like a CEO. Now, this isn't about cookie-cutter programs or quick fixes. No, Daniel's about building lifestyles where health becomes your daily identity. Daniel Intorella, welcome, my friend, to Mornings in the Lab.
Thank you, my man. Thank you, guys. Nice to be here. Can you hear me?
What's up, Daniel?
Can hear you loud.
Yes,
Daniel, what's up, brother?
Daniel, what's going on?
Guys. Good to be here.
So, Daniel, one of the first questions we'd like to ask every man who comes on to every human who comes on our show. And here's the one for you, Daniel Intorella. Tell us about your morning routine. How do you start your day? Do you hit the snooze button? Do you get your ass out of bed? Do you get on the rebounder like Andersen and jump up and down? Do you master your domain? Do you brush your teeth? Do you jump in the cold pool? What do you do, Daniel? How do you get your day started, brother? Or do you have no routine?
No, I have a routine, but my routine starts at 3:45 a.m. That's what time
There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. It's been a progression over years, but now I just naturally wake up at 3:20, 3:30. Years ago, I used to enjoy that 10, 20 minutes of extra sleep, but honestly, today I wake up and I'm like, what's 10 more minutes? Might as well just get up, right? We got things to do. So 3:45, I'm up. Usually I do wake up before that. And 5 things that are pretty consistent by 4 a.m. is wake, water, breath, stretch, breakfast. And that starts the night before. So it's always about building.
There we go.
Having a vision of what your day's going to look like. But that happens the night before, whether it's laying out your clothes, prepping your breakfast. Because at 4 a.m., I don't want to crack eggs, get the frying pan, get a plate, get a fork. That's already done. So I'm already maximizing my time. I wake up and start that process. But in that process, I'm drinking my water. I'm stretching in my kitchen while the eggs are going. So by 4 a.m., 5 things are accomplished. It's already 5 wins in the column.
There we go.
Well, so Jim, Marty, Johnny, Coach, show's done. Yeah, we're done. We got the whole year's done. We have our guy just told you guys all what to do. We're just done. But here's the thing, Daniel. Have you always been this guy? Or in your journey, Johnny's talked about it, Marty's talked about it, Richie's talked about it, I've talked about it. There's something that happens in your life. You're like, I got to wake up and be a better guy, a different man. Were you always this guy, Daniel, or how has your journey transformed you into a 3:45, 3:35 wake up dude?
So I've always been an early riser, not that early, but even as a kid, I remember being, 7, 8 years old. And if I slept until 7 a.m., give or take 7:30, I was pissed off. I felt the day was wasted. So it's always been like innately in me to be an early riser and to do things and be active and go get it. But of course, life comes, everybody has their challenges, setbacks. You get into that rut of, I've had my days where I didn't want to get out of bed, dealing with depression, from severe acne, from being diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, coming to terms with being gay. There's just things that were really keeping me down at certain points in my life. But, it's what I call recycling your pain into power and just showing up, because we all go through those tough moments where you may not want to give up, throw in the towel, and just don't feel like showing up. But you have to find those people or those things in your life that keep you going, even if it's like the tiniest sliver that gets you through the one day, and then, stack it up from there.
Boys, have we not maybe found a more perfect guest so far on our show? He just went in and lashed off his full entire morning routine. He just comes on and he's completely vulnerable with us. I just find myself wanting to walk just completely close to that camera and keep getting to know Daniel. Like, dude, you are like the perfect Mornings in the Lab guest so far. Coach, we hit a home run on this one, I'm telling you. Marty, John, Richie, what do you got for Daniel right now this morning?
Let's hear it, guys.
My first thing is, but first off, I love the fact that, as we say on this show, you pulled your pants down. You were nice and vulnerable. That's great, brother.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I know in my story, all the shit that was rough in the beginning was the biggest blessing. Share with us how you going through all the things that you shared that were challenging, how that basically you were lucky to have that stuff because you overcame it. You developed the skills to become this amazing human you are right now. Talk to us about that journey and how lucky you were to have those challenges.
Yeah, I mean, I was diagnosed with chronic kidney disease when I was 20 years old, but I found out I was seeing a dermatologist for my skin, a long story short, and he saw my lab reports because I was on Accutane. He said, if you were my kid, I'd have you seeing a urologist. That got the whole ball rolling. And, that turned out to be chronic kidney disease, congenital age 20. My kidney function was 42%. I'm now 42 and I have 20% on the kidney wait list. But so when I came and built my business, I was looking at how the people I thought I was going to help the most were people with my condition, chronic kidney disease. But I've met with a lot of those people, and it's a big part of my story. It's just not where I drive my business. So I kind of pivoted a few months ago and really dived into helping dads, helping men, because I am one, and I feel like I can best serve that community. But yeah, being dealt that blow that early in my life, I was very depressed. At the same time, nobody knew I was gay, hiding it from my parents, my family, growing up in a small rural area. So all that compounding, like there was some really low points on antidepressants, suicidal. So there's just things I had to work through. But the one big key factor then was like I wouldn't be able to go through with it because I wouldn't want to put my mom through that. Was one of the big thoughts in my brain. I wrote letters. She probably still has them. Just like there's a way for me to get out because I wasn't really good at expressing. So I write a lot. I don't write so much now because I now do get stuff out. But it served me well then. That's how I expressed myself. And that was like the one thing I held on to. I couldn't put my mom through that pain of going through that because she didn't deserve that. So I just felt like I would just suffer until I got through. So that was that part of that life, and life goes on. And then I met my now husband and moved out to New Jersey before social media was even a thing. From a kid from Michigan, moved out to New Jersey, 21 years old, 20 years later, and life is pretty beautiful. So,
dude, what an inspiration. Marty.
Amazing, brother.
Now, I might be messing up the timeline, but you mentioned your morning routine. Did that consistency and that discipline, I guess, encourage you to be more expressive? Did that have anything to do with that? I don't know if I'm mixing up the timeline, but yeah.
So having that morning routine, it's something I really dived into deeper over the last couple of years. I mean, I was always an early riser.
Okay.
I was always like, okay, what can we do? But it's just a matter of once I dialed in my health even more, my nutrition, exercising for myself and for my clients, it just became, much more of a regimented pattern. It's like rinse and repeat. It's building consistency, but doing the mundane, which, that's where the wins come in. Doing the mundane, simple things over and over and over. That's where people get lost and get derailed. And mentioning earlier, I caught some of the conversation where you get derailed. Like you can't let one bad day, like a workout, maybe you didn't go to the gym, so you hate on yourself or you feel bad, like, oh man, I'm a piece of shit, whatever it is. That turns into 2 days, that turns into 4 days. And then all of a sudden 2 weeks, a month, you haven't worked out, you haven't done anything because you let that one moment derail any future. So it's like Groundhog Day, rinse and repeat. It's like it's one day, it's 24 hours. You got the next day to get up for and win that day.
Richie,
what motivates you, man? I know you were talking about earlier in your life, it was you didn't want to put your mom through that. But what about now? Because it seems like your kidney functions aren't better. So things are still tough for you. So what motivates you to wake up and dominate it every day?
Just this internal drive and knowing I always have a vision of I see what I want to do. And I knew early on what I didn't want to do the rest of my life. So my full time, I'm in the grocery space. I'm a produce has been in that industry for 25 years. So if you're familiar with LinkedIn and what I do, what I drive my business, being the fitness coach, I didn't become a personal trainer until I was 36. life goes on. You kind of heard a bit of my early story, but then I moved to New Jersey and was still in the same industry. But I always had the thought and the vision, like I've always been athletic, been in sports. Like, when am I going to pull the trigger and become, do my passion? So seeing some women around me do things in their life was like a light bulb. Like, Dan, get off the pot. It's time to like do something with this. Did group fitness for 3 years, went to a corporate lifetime gig for a little bit, absolutely hated it, needed a pivot, needed a change, mini breakdown, came into LinkedIn, decided, hey, I'm going to start my own business, do my own thing. And a year and a half later, growing and expanding. So that is what is a big passion and drive for me now. I have people counting on me. I want to have dreams. I have goals, and got more entrepreneurial about 2 years ago, and was like, I'm changing my path because I'm not going to be in retail all of my life. I'm going to take this path over here. And, things are starting to get traction, come to fruition, meeting people, meeting guys like you, just connections through LinkedIn, wherever it might be, and building relationships. So that's what it is. Business is personal. And so you got to be personal to build a business. And it's all about connections, right? All about the relationships that help you grow and grow. And that's where I'm headed. I wake up literally every day and excited to do, okay, what could possibly be next? And it's all about growth. That gap between comfortable and unknown, that growth is what it's all about.
Oh, Daniel, I tell you, man, I'm inspired by you. I watch your content on LinkedIn. I engage their content on LinkedIn. I've got to know you on LinkedIn, but I didn't expect I would enjoy this conversation as much as I am today. But I got a question for you. What's one belief that the new you, Daniel, holds that the old you, before you changed, never thought in a million years would be possible? So as you sit back and hang out with us this morning and you reflect, what's that one belief, Daniel?
I did not imagine a few things that I would ever be a business owner, have my own business. Just kind of thinking, I grew up in a small area, small town. I was just thinking I was going to be a correction officer. I'm an associate in criminal justice. I was like, I'm going to be a correction officer because my parents had friends that were correction officers. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that. But I had my second semester in college. I had a police officer come into our class and said, you got to ask yourself one question. Are you willing to die? And I was like, fuck no. I was like, that's not,
yeah.
That's not me. I didn't drop out. I finished, got my degree, and, went back for a third year for PTA, physical therapy assistant. I was like, I don't want to be the assistant. I want to be the guy. Obviously, that didn't pan out because I didn't continue. Long story short, met my husband, moved to New Jersey and a few other things, and never went back, But here we are today. So it's all working out.
Hey, Daniel, maybe the more important question, did you meet your husband in the grocery store with the bell peppers in the cart? Or?
Oh, here we go.
No, before social media was even a thing. I mean, we're going back to Yahoo.
Oh, yeah?
You remember Yahoo?
So did you send him so Yahoo, that's when you put the mail in the envelope and just mailed it with the pigeons to Yahoo, like back in those olden days, right? Yeah.
The Yahoo chat.
I never even heard of that.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Marty has no idea what Yahoo
I've never heard of that. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Marty's making me feel very old today.
Oh, sorry, Daniel. I'll just be honest. We keep it real.
He makes us all feel that way, brother. Don't worry about it.
You get used to it.
All right. So listen, Daniel, before we wrap up our segment here, thoroughly enjoyed having you on the show today. Daniel, how can Business Athlete Nation find you? Where can they connect with you? Take a minute or so to, promote yourself, promote your business, and tell a little bit about, to our community, how they can connect with Daniel and Turnell.
Absolutely. Thank you. So, my website, fuelandfortitude.com is my website, my company. Also, I navigate my entire business literally through LinkedIn. So Daniel Interella is how you find me there. I spend a lot of my time in the LinkedIn, as I see you as well, Keith, over there. And so my whole goal is to help those dads, shred the dad bod, build a fit bod by building bespoke playbooks, not just your generic run of the mill, hey, lose 5 pounds in a week. Those bullshit type, anybody can drop 5 pounds in a week, but it's going to be sustainable. So what that is building a unique playbook for you for anybody because we're all different. We all process food differently. And most of the things that I see, people are not eating enough, and they think they're afraid of carbs, which I just did a video on.
There we go.
Kind of debunking some of the myths about carbs and like fruit. And you're not getting fat from eating fruit because of the sugar, because we all know it breaks down differently than Kit Kats and Snicker bars with the fiber and everything else. So just teaching people, educating people, and showing them that, hey, you can have that slice of pizza. You can still have a cupcake. It's about reducing, not restricting. And then, of course, having a regimented fitness plan in play. So whether you're the CEO who flies twice a month, you're away, I build a home playbook and a away playbook. So finding out your bookends is also very important. I help you establish your beginning and your end, your playbook, your bookends, and what goes on in between that to maximize your time. So where can you fit in that workout where it becomes part of your lifestyle? Not just something you have to do, that you want to do it. So you guys know there's many moving parts in the fitness industry. It's not just about losing weight. It's like, how are you breathing? How are your energy levels? Did the clothes fit better? Do you feel better? And, weight loss is a byproduct of putting in the work and building the muscle. It is expensive real estate. So not just in taking out that mental exhaustion of what should I work today, as opposed to having a literally plan built out for you month by month is done for you.
Yes. Daniel and Torella joining us here Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Go find Daniel, connect with him on LinkedIn. Daniel, come back and hang out with us again, will you?
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah?
You're my people.
Thank you, Daniel.
We are you are our people. And hey, Daniel, if you have any tech help, just come knock on my door on LinkedIn. I'll help you get connected,
No, just issues with that. I never had to do my
crazy.
headphones to the laptop.
That's crazy.
Daniel, have an awesome day, brother. We'll see you in the feeds, all right?
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Daniel.
Daniel. Later,
Thanks,
brother.
guys.
All right, guys, you guys knew this. You guys know this new sound effect I got rolling here. Richie, check this out. Superhero music for our man.
That's the
Let's go.
wrestling music for John.
That's it.
Get the hell off the stage, everyone. This is my
coming
time.
out now, Jon Andersen.
Richie's gonna go do his thoracic twist. Go and get it, Anderson.
I love it.
Oh, come on, Keith. What's up with you today, man?
All right, here we go. Check this out. 87% of people are unhappy with their jobs. And we've got a massive diabetes epidemic sweeping the country, which means that people are allowing their realities to just kind of get worse and worse. And here's the deal. Most people in today's world are basically allowing their reality to get so uncomfortable that the pain of reality is become greater than the pain of change. Well, here's the thing. Why wait for reality to get that way? Make the choice to make a change. Don't wait for the doctor to tell you that if you don't clean up your diet, you're going to get diabetes or you're going to have some sort of illness. Don't wait for that car crash. Don't wait for the tragedy in your life to take that first step and make a change. Because change is coming, whether you like it or not. The question is, are you going to take the bull by the horns and go get that change? Are you going to wait for the bull to come get you? Because one way or the next, change is coming. Just remember, when the pain and discomfort of your reality becomes greater than the pain of change, you will make the choice. So my message is simple. Why wait? Rock and roll.
The change is happening, nation. It's going to be inevitable. So what the hell are you waiting for? You can either roll around and you can just lay there, or you can make the change yourself. Grab control of it. Right, Anderson?
Yes. And real quick, brother, I've been crushed in the water this morning. You got to cut me loose for a quick an unplanned bathroom break here.
All right. John is going off for a restroom break, and we're going to bring on our friend here. We're going to bring on our friend here while I get the buttons going here. Yeah. Richie, Marty, we get the greatest of all time here. We got Jory Jansen, our resident nutritionist, our resident dietitian, our resident human being who's talking to us today about... Yeah, just leave. Jimmy will get you off there. Yeah, we'll see you later there, Johnny. Yeah, Jimmy, get Johnny off the stage, man. There we go. Get him out of here. Jory, we got you. Johnny, get the Jory, good to see you this morning. How are you today?
I am great. How are you?
We're awesome. Thank you. Have you met Rich yet? Yeah, of course you've met Rich.
Yeah. Hey, Jory.
Hey, Richie. So I'm going to look to you for start this conversation. First of all, brother. So we've been talking to Jory we started the conversation on Monday with Jory about intermittent fasting. Now, in your journey as an endurance athlete, Rich, has fasting, intermittent fasting been a part of that, or is that just an absolute no-no for you? And while I ask you is because what we want to come talk to Jory about today is how do you know if it's right for you? Like, is it right? How do you know? Is it a lifestyle thing? So start with you, Richie, and then I want to come back to Jory to keep diving into this. Have you intermittent fasted, or you got to eat too much food?
So one, I want to start with saying nutrition is probably the biggest thing that I need to work on. So I can't wait to hear Jory's perspective. But I listen to my body, and so I know for a fact that I'm doing it wrong. And so and here's how. Because for me, what'll happen is I'll get busy and I don't take time to eat. And then I eat this big meal, and as Jon Andersen says, you're putting 10 gallons in a 5-gallon tank, right? Well, I might burn. I mean, yesterday I did interval workouts over 8 miles, and then I was in the gym for over an hour. Okay, so I burned well over 2,000 calories. Well, how many calories did I eat yesterday? Well, if I only eat one time during the day, like that's not enough. My body can't handle that. So I know intermittent fasting for me is not enough. It's not a good thing. For me, I need to make sure around those workouts, what I try and do is I eat a relative amount of carbs to get more energy back after my workout, and protein so I can have recovery. And I generally eat more carbs before my workout. So like a bagel with some almond butter and some honey on it is what I do. And then I know that I need to do better throughout the day, because there's no way that the amount of calories my body is burning can be gathered in one sitting. It just can't. So, but Jory, please, I know.
Nor should it. No.
There you go, Jory. So you got somebody out there actually. So there's somebody listening right now who's like Rich, and they're going, "What's Jory gonna say?" So Jory, Richie set you up.
Yeah, no, thank you. When you look at intermittent fasting, you have to look at the why that most people are doing it. If it's for, that mental clarity, if it's to, have an adaptation in a certain training phase, periodization, remember? So there may be a place, but again, if we go back to most of the studies where we're seeing any sort of benefit, it's in, the 6 lab rats. So we can't necessarily place it on the human. And when you look at high performance sports, so when I've worked with para-triathletes, I've worked with NHL players, with, dancers. So it doesn't matter in terms of what it is. If you're looking for performance as the outcome, intermittent fasting is not going to be the deal. If you're looking for a short window, periodized, on purpose planned window to fast, because you're not going to increase the training load, then you decrease what's coming into the body. That creates that adaptation as if you increase the training load when you can't increase the training load anymore. So there's a place possibly for athletes to include intermittent fasting. When you're looking for mental health and wellness, you're looking for a place to just kind of let your body just kind of recover without constantly having to eat all the time, there's a place for intermittent fasting for sure. Whether it's religious reasons, whether it's a place of, if you're like putting MCT oil in your coffee, that's not intermittent fasting, but it is the way.
Little stab at Keith there. It's okay, Keith. Don't worry, baby. It was the discipline you got out of that one.
Yes.
Keith and not Jory's friend. So I think we have to look at what's happening. So for sure, if you're looking for high performance, it takes fuel to burn fuel, and if it's not when you need it, you're not going to function. In fact, it's going to be worse. I always go back to this term that's called relative energy deficiency in sport. And it's when you have low energy available to you when you need it, you're causing hormone disruption, increased risk of injury, mood disorders, mental illness, mental health is impacted. So there's like this big chain reaction just because.
What'd you call that again?
That's cool. What's that?
What'd you call that term again?
REDS, relative energy deficiency in sport. You can email me and I'll send you the article. It's beautiful. It's easy to read.
Would love it.
And it really helps. It has the health wheel and the performance wheel. High level athletes don't care about their health; they care about performance.
Yes.
So that's the wheel.
Send that to me too.
Right? And so it's really, really important to understand that just because something could be helpful doesn't mean it's the right time and place to do it.
Well, and Jory, I think what also happens with this, and we talk about it with Jon often with making bad decisions, when we're tired, we make bad decisions, right? So if we're fasting and we're tired and we're coming out of fast, there's a chance we might make the wrong decision on the food we're going to eat. Lean into that for a second.
It's also blood sugar, because when blood sugar dips, your brain sends out an emergency signal, says, I need sugar now. At that point, that's a battle you're not going to win. That's why you really, really got to understand that, if you let that blood sugar dip, you got a different battle that you're fighting, and you have to understand that going in.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think that intermittent fasting is a way for some people to kind of jumpstart their belief system in themselves and creating that behavior change. I also do this exact same thing by, making sure I'm not over caffeinating, making sure that I'm not going to the simple carbohydrates. There's a time and place for that for athletes, to make sure, because you can't take complex carbs. You got to have that quick fuel source in the moment. But there are things that you can do that can lead to mental clarity, that can lead to body composition and weight management, blood sugar control, without having to fast. So fasting for sure is not for everyone, and people shouldn't feel bad because they can't fast. But
again, we're here offering up solutions, and we like to offer ourselves up as connection points. I have found fasting for me, just like I've talked with Richie and the boys here about endurance. For me, it's about mental. Like for me, fasting and endurance is purely a mental sport for me. That's all that it is. It provides me clarity. It gives me endurance clarity, and and for me, that's what works for Keith as a human, right? I feel better, but most importantly, it's about mental. It's like, okay, I can fucking do it. And if I can cycle, or if I can go bike riding for 4 hours, or go for a run for 2 hours, or not eat for 6 hours or 8 hours, those to me are human accomplishments that tell me that I can do so. It's like a battle, Johnny, with my brain, and that's powerful to me. That's what works.
I'm just going to ask you to read the Reds paper, though, Keith. I will ask you to read that paper.
Yes,
because I think that going 4-8 hours when you're doing that physical activity performance.
Yes.
That's where you're changing hormones, how they're working or not working for you, your opportunity for recovery, building and repairing, and then adapting to the level of performance you want to gain. So that endurance is more just for the mental clarity. Possibly that's okay. But if we look at someone like Rich, like going for that 4-hour ride, etc., you're looking for that performance outcome, and you need a quick recovery. That's going to be completely different, right? So just looking at the why and the outcome that's anticipated, absolutely. I think there's so many ways to arrive at a destination.
Yes.
It's just making sure you choose the right destination and route for you for that particular time.
Well, I think, Keith, what you're talking about, though, brother, I think, and I totally get where you're coming from, because I share some of your viewpoint. It's the discipline that you're basically creating and honoring and executing that creates all of this. Because, when you believe, that might be one of the biggest factors in the whole part of performance. And when you're executing discipline, when you're living discipline, and you can do it because you're disciplined, you can forget everything we're talking about. That will override it, because when someone believes they can do it, the shit that someone can do when they truly believe is off the charts.
Well, it's interesting to hear you say, Johnny, because it's how I live my life. Like, I know I have beliefs that some people look at me like, fuck, man, you're a weird man. I'm like, no, but I believe it. And like, no, but you can't. I said, Johnny, you always say if somebody's doubting me, then I'm doing the right thing. Like, I know people look at me with what I'm trying to create, and they're like, they don't fucking get it. I'm like, that's okay, that I'm doing the right thing. Like that power of self-belief, Jory. So I guess that is, to Johnny's point, that's where I really lean into when I do endurance things, or I'm not a runner. I'm like, I can go run for fucking 2 hours, so I'm just going to do it because I know I can. I'll figure it out, right? But something, Jory, you said as we work towards wrapping up the segment, man, I love this conversation because this is such gold nuggets. Jory, you said something about recovery, and I was reminded about it this morning during my recovery ride this morning. When we recover, we can't be celebrating what we've accomplished. We need to be recovering for what we're about to do next. Yeah. And often I think we recover, or Johnny, from your point of view, we recover by celebrating bad food, when in reality, no, you need to be recovering or fueling for what you're about to accomplish next. And I know, Nation, I still work on that as a mindset. I have to remind myself from time to time going, oh, right, I'm supposed to be recovering now, not celebrating what I just did. I need to be recovering because I got a big job tomorrow. You know, follow what I'm saying? That's a hard thing sometimes to overcome, Jory.
Absolutely. Like when I'm working with a client, and high level athlete or an athlete for health, I create the timeline with them. What's your timeline? What's going on in your day, and what's happening tomorrow? Because what you do today impacts tomorrow. And so we look and we strategize and put processes in place so that way you can be successful at the end of the day and then looking into tomorrow.
Yes. Rich, you got Lauren coming in with the same mindset you have with eating food and so forth. And good time. Good morning. Good time. Good to see you here this morning. Hope you're getting out for your walk this morning. Good time. If you haven't joined us earlier, you just missed a great conversation with Jory talking about intermittent fasting and so forth, which we are going to wrap up this chat with Jory. Jory, let's keep the conversation going on Friday. I think we have more to dig into with intermittent fasting. Do we not?
We do. I think we do.
Yes, we do. Let's keep that conversation happening on Friday with Jory. Marty, Johnny, Richie, any final words for Jory before we say goodbye?
I just want to say that, Jory, every time you show up, we have some great conversations, and I feel like our audience is always learning something. So thank you.
I agree.
I appreciate you, Jory.
For sure. I like the differences among all of us, and yet we're so similar at the same time, right?
Yes. So absolutely. Jory, have an awesome day. We'll talk to you along the way, okay?
You guys.
All right. We know this one. This is our friend, the coach, coming up with a brand bite.
Let's go, coach.
And then I got something you guys for Reloaded if you want to spice up your life. Yep, true story.
Oh, man. Here we go.
That's terrifying. It's a terrifying tease. I don't know about that, but let's see. Okay. Stop trying to figure it out. Here's the honest truth. Every single time I thought that I had figured it out, I realized that I hadn't. I thought I figured it out when I found my career in the NBA. I thought when I left my wife here and I moved to New York to work for my friend's tech company, I thought that was it. I thought I cracked the code when I started my own tech company. And more recently, I thought when I was building my personal brand in Web3 and NFTs, I had figured it out. Spoiler, none of them I had figured out, because as much as I had been sprinting towards it, I had to come to realize there's no finish line. Chasing that aha moment, it's not the solution. It's not about one job, one launch, one post, one platform. It's about building something over time, piece by piece, through the ups and downs. Truth and trust doesn't come overnight. It takes reps, it takes showing up, it takes consistency. And with every so-called failure, I learned, stop chasing, figuring it out. Start chasing, focusing on building rooted in my story, my skills, my unique value. That's the only thing that I could control, and it's the only thing that you could control. So stop trying to figure it out. Start building on what's authentically you and let that grow and evolve just as you do. Yes, it really is that simple. I have entered my no fucks era, and I promise you, if you take today's brand bite into account, you will be one step closer to entering yours. You got this.
And keeping it real every single day on the brand bite. You know what she's talking about? You think you got to figure it out? Oh, I know what she's talking about. We thought we had it all figured out last night before our show. And then this morning for the pre-show, we just didn't have it figured out. And she's like, Bilous, what the hell? I'm like, I know. We're just figuring it out, kid.
We're building.
Kristina, I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the work you're putting in, because I know you're crushing it. And then our guest, Daniel, we love you, man. We thought you were here for center stage. You're not there, so we're just figuring it out. It's just we think we have it all figured out. We don't have it figured out. But hey, to you listening, you didn't have any idea, because we just made it go on the fly, because that's what happens when you show up. You show up and you move, you create momentum, and magic happens, and it starts to sound like this. Yep. The Morning Loop Reloaded. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. John, Marty, Kristina, our friend Rich. We just wrapped up the first hour talking intermittent fasting with Jory. Hey, Richie, what was that term that Jory taught us? What was it, Richie?
Reds. So
what does it mean?
I think she said relative energy deficiency. I don't know. That's what she's going to send us the paper. I just wrote it down because I know it's important.
I would have butchered that.
Marty and Rich are delivering us the red segment tomorrow on Mornings in the Lab. They're doing their homework tonight. Relative energy deficiency for sports. Woo! Uncle Keith just rattled that off the top of his head. That was a good segment.
Your brother, check this out. When I hear those bagpipes, what pops into my mind is, what is this nutty little son of a bitch But when I hear those pipes, my brain, I think, what is that nutty little son of a bitch going to talk about now?
Well, I got something for you, Andersen. Stay on. So, Jimmy, we're going to keep Andersen up here in a quick second here because I know Johnny's going to like this one here. Hey, Johnny, is Terry living longer here in the last couple of days? Yeah, Terry's living longer.
We work on that every day.
Good,
that's a part of the daily rhythm, baby.
Well, because here's the question for you. I'm thinking, Nation, is that if you're waking up this morning, you're getting your morning routine started, I get you, Good Time. The pipes are great. We are talking pipes right now. Hey, Good Time, if you missed the show at the beginning of the hour, we talked about bell peppers in your cart. If you're looking for a partner outside of your partner situation, now you might want to put a pepper in your cart. But listen, if you have a low sex drive, if you have low sex drive, your diet could be to blame. We just talked about intermittent fasting. We're talking about food. And Nation, I'm telling you right now, if you don't have any desire to have sex, it's probably because of what you're eating. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you some things to think about what you might want.
I got something to add on this too, but go ahead, do your thing. I'm going to chime in. And Johnny's going to get me.
Yeah, when I'm done with the diatribe here, I'm going to throw to Marty because you might want to think about some things as you start your day. You know how we start our days, right? Morning, we go through, Marty, we start the day, we have our coffee, think, okay, what are we going to have for dinner today? What am I going to have for lunch today? I'm hanging out with my wife tonight. Well, if you're planning your day right now, be thinking about the food that might make the juices flow, that might make the eggplant rise, right? Put some food into your body that might make you thinking about making your wife live a little longer. Marty, where do you want to start it off, pal?
Well, you're absolutely right.
But I got to hold on,
Johnny. Hold on.
But we're setting the stage all wrong for everybody here. We're creating some false hope. Don't think that by changing what you're eating fucking today, you're unwinding months or years of crushing your libido. So don't think that.
Okay, there you go. That's a good point.
Changing your eating habits is great, but don't fucking think we're saying, look, eat some vegetables today and you're going to get a rock hard. No, that's not what we're saying.
No, because that's
not what we're saying.
Alcohol and Big Macs are the biggest known libido killers. Sorry, McDonald's. I know we're not getting your sponsorship, but you're crushing alcohol, you're crushing Big Macs or Burger Kings, you're crushing your libido. Right. So to Johnny's point, you want to stay from there. But Marty, where are you coming at, brother? What are you going to say?
What I was going to say was, yes, you got to have great habits. You got to eat clean. You got to be on top of your macronutrients, all that. But in my research,
yes,
I've read that you need the occasional cheat meal. You need that. You shouldn't just be eating super clean. You know,
that's for a calorie deficit person.
Okay, for a calorie deficit person. All right, that's what I was saying. This is for someone who has the habits already. That's all I was going to add. So for us on this podcast, you know, that we can get away with that and still have the libido, but somebody who doesn't have their habits in check, that doesn't apply to them. That's all I was going to add.
I'm wondering could the cheat meal include, Richie? I'm just wondering aloud here, Richie. Were you on the show? I wonder. So the cheat meal could involve face sitting.
I'm out of here.
Is that a Big Mac?
What?
That's a beef patty.
I guess if you don't have a good boner, that's about all you're going to provide for your mate. So there you go.
So listen. So again, we're talking food here, guys. What foods should our men be eating instead to drive arousal, drive hormonal balance, increase testosterone, get the blood flowing? Johnny, start with you, man. I know you know of some foods you're telling your guys to eat. Johnny.
I mean, when it comes down to it, it's don't even think about what to eat. Think about what to remove. It's a much easier task. Right. Just remove processed foods. Processed foods create friction, right? When I say friction, the whole body is under stress trying to deal with the dumb shit you put down your throat. So you remove that, and what happens is your body actually starts to do better in terms of it will start to have a ripple effect in the right direction. When you're eating a lot of processed foods, Big Macs, especially fast food, that ripple effect's going the wrong way. And that ripple effect going the wrong way, it means you're not going to have a good boner.
So instead, you might want to have some oysters or avocado. Marty, what are you thinking, brother?
Oh, no. What was that? What'd you say, Keith? My bad.
Instead, you might want to have some oysters. You might want to try some avocado. You might want to think about some, pumpkin seeds, stuff that's high in zinc. It's going to get your body rolling here. Marty, what are you thinking, brother?
I've read vitamin D as well. No pun intended.
Yeah. Yes.
Literally. So I know salmon with the fatty and omega 3s. That's a good one as well. I wanted to add that too.
You got Rich on that one. He lost it there.
Rich wasn't expecting that.
No, he loved that.
I still think we've got to be very clear that adding these really healthy foods in is going to be helpful, but it's not going to make much of a difference combating fast food. You got to really understand that getting that shit out is the first step. All the good shit you're going to put in is not going to do much when you're still eating the crap that got you there to begin with. Yeah. And when we say libido, I keep talking about having a good boner, but libido is just the want to have sex. I'm just kind of having fun with talking about, getting a good piece of wood, but the urge to want to have sex is what we're talking about. So all these foods are great, but you got to get the bad shit out of the way for the good foods to actually have an effect.
Yeah. Well, and Johnny, that's in many ways it's a good segue to we talk about in November around the corner, right? Like if you want to have yes to a lot of great sex in November, say no to the bad shit you're putting in your body. It's really as simple as that, right? And we talk here all the time on this show. You can't outrun a bad diet. You can't out eat good sex, right? If you want to have good sex, eat good food. Richie, as you're listening to this, what are you leaning? What's jumping out at you, brother?
So the first thing is, I think next time we get Jory on, we need to ask her this, being the nutrition expert. But for me, I'll tell you, I'm in my 40s and I wake up every morning just about with a raging hard cock. Okay. And when I'm the horniest, you're welcome. When I'm talking wet towel, okay, coat rack. When I'm the horniest, it's after a run. Like I remember when I got done with a 100-mile run, and I was like looking at women, and I was like, oh my god, like shit, I think it's. I don't know anything about the nutrition expert, but I will say, physical fitness and mental clarity are going to help your libido. I mean, just hands down, because that's just a personal experience.
I feel like that after I lift too.
And part of that after your run, brother, is your brain has released so many good chemicals, including serotonin and oxytocin. That's a love drug. You know what I mean? So your brain is you overcome this massive obstacle, and your brain is giving you this massive reward. And part of that is what you're talking about.
So Business Athlete Nation, to those of you tuning in Austin, Texas, I invite you to go hang around Rich's house around 6:30 a.m. in the morning, and you might find yourself with a few-minute booty call from Rich, who's looking for some action around 6:37.
That's crazy.
Hello.
Tina, you're the lone female on the line here, listening to this man just yatter. I'd love to hear the female's point of view.
Getting all the tips on getting the most rock hard cock. That's really what I came here for today. And
we should have kept Daniel on the show for this.
Great. I feel great about it. Yeah, I'm.
Well, she's a good wood. Tina's just going. You guys are all crazy. All I got to do is open up the drawer, and I got that handled. So I love it.
My cock is rock hard whenever I want it to be. I just
that's it. That's exactly right. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to. Now libido, that's different. But yeah, if I want a rock hard cock, I just open the drawer.
That is so good. That is so good.
So listen, nation, what we're telling you guys is there's a lot of great food that you can eat to drive that sexual arousal, to drive that energy in the bedroom. Hydration's key. You hear us all the time. And listen, we're not dropping anything new here for you guys. There's nothing new at all. Right now, what my hope is that we're just giving you guys some things to think about, tuning in, having some laughter. And as you're going through your day, you're planning your day. Sometimes we just need to hear one thing to help us move forward. And as you're planning your day, going, oh, you know what? Maybe I'm going to have some oysters today with my wife. Maybe we're going to go have some time in the bedroom. And if that helps you achieve your goals tomorrow, then, hey, we've succeeded with this segment here. So go have some good food, but cut out the bad food. That's what's really going to help move the needle for you guys. All right, John, Marty, Richie, Kristina. Me and Kristina are going to get off stage. Richie, why don't you hang out? If you want to hang out with the boys in the gym, the segment, we're going to do a segment. And I really took a lot of I'm looking for the word here. I'm looking inspiration from a conversation we had a couple days ago. Maybe it would have been yesterday, but we talk, especially looking at you, Marty. We talk often about having a good physique and putting some nice clothes on. Now, obviously, we're talking about longevity, but part of the journey of longevity is the day to day, and part of longevity is getting up in the morning and getting into your closet and putting something nice on. We got guys getting ready for the weekend. We got guys getting ready for events. And there might be some times where guys get up in the morning and thinking, oh, I want to feel good about myself. I want to feel jacked. I want to go put on my suit jacket or my t-shirt or my going out for dinner tonight. Let's throw some exercises on the table for Rich Ingram. There you go. For Rich Ingram to come off his race, throw some clothes on, and feel jacked. Exercises that will help you men feel jacked to start your day or for a night out on the town. Marty, Richie, Johnny, you guys want to go do that?
Let's get it.
Let's do it. All right. I'm going to get out of here.
See you later.
Yeah, good.
The first question I got to ask about this is, are we talking about an exercise that you're just like going to do today? Like you haven't been doing it, or you haven't been training, but you're going to exercise just today to accomplish this feeling? Or is this like, okay, this person works out regularly, they're doing their shit. Okay, what's something within that repertoire we can do today?
I think we're talking long term, Johnny. I think we're talking long term.
Okay, thank Christ, because I was thinking, if we're telling
that's on the brand for us.
I was gonna say, I just had to make sure that was, maybe that was my fault for just assuming the glass could have been half empty. So I need to be shame on me for that, because I should.
It's okay, man. You still learning. You might be the OG on the show, but you still learning, man. It's all good. But
I love it.
The first exercise I'd have to say, incline chest press. That's going to target the upper chest, the shoulders, triceps, and it's going to change your whole look. So if you got on like a button-up shirt or a polo, that's really going to make those upper body muscles stand out, in my opinion. So incline chest press, you can't go wrong with that one. That's number one for me, because that's what people are going to see first. When you go shake somebody's hand, they're going to see your shoulders. They're going to see that chest popping out of the polo shirt or the button-up.
I totally agree with that, but I think we should also just make sure that we establish that, if you go do these exercises, we're going to talk about a series of them. There's a window of opportunity that you're going to have to carry that look with you. You can do this incline press, get all pumped up, yoked up, feeling good, put on that shirt, boom, you're all set. Well, it's just a matter of time before that look goes away, because you're going to lose your pump. So a lot of times you see the guys that are, they're 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m. off work, and they're doing the curls, and trying to pump up go to the club. Well, if you ain't going to the club till 10 o'clock, it ain't going to be there. Shit ain't going to be there. So I think understand there's a window of time here, that you got to kind of manage. So that being said, I just always want to make sure we're bringing true reality to the table.
Well, the pump is short term. We talking over time. What exercises over a series of time going to have you looking jacked when you go out at night?
I was really fucking off the mark on this son of a bitch. Holy Christ.
The pump. Yeah, the pump is short term. You went right back to short term after we established long term. It's all good. You still learning. I know you're the OG on the show, but you still learning. No, I'm playing.
Richie, step in there. What do you got, baby?
Go ahead, Rich.
I'll say, look, I'm going to learn the fitness stuff from you guys as far as pumping. But I will say one thing that I noticed is people don't upgrade their clothes. So if you've gone to the gym, you've lost some weight, and your physique has changed, you can't be wearing the same clothes 6 months ago. You need to go back to the tailor and get something trimmed fit, depending on what your style is, because that's also going to show your definitive physique, yep. Right? So yeah. And then you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say cardio, man. Cardio is just going to cut. It's going to show everything.
Yeah, you got to absolutely do cardio. What exercise would you say, John?
So I would go right. Now that I'm on target here with this conversation, for the love of Christ. So I would go with basic. First off, I totally agree with what you're saying, Marty. But the next thing I would put probably as an equal first would be a narrow grip bench press, because you're going to basically target the chest. It's going to be kind of inner upper chest, and you're going to get that big old swole up tricep. And then who doesn't want a bigger arm? I mean, you most people, they say, oh, I just want my chest and my arms to be, a certain way, and that's what they're after. Well, now if you do a narrow grip, you're going to get both those in one shot. So, and narrow grip is one of those things I believe is really, really undervalued, because when it comes down to it in life, this is a fairly common. If we're going to push something away, our hands are going to be narrow. We're not pushing out here. That's a good point. Most people bench out wide. So a narrow grip is basically, it's going to help you as an athlete. It's going to help you as a person. It might even help you in what you do for work, because this is a natural path of life.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, I'm going with shoulder shrugs. I don't know about you, John, but I think those traps, that makes you a different type of man. You're going to stand out from a lot of men if you got traps showing. I think the ladies going to like that a little bit more, and the men going to give you a little more respect if you got those traps popping out. So, me, I love shoulder shrugs. I do them every week. I go super heavy on them, probably not heavy to you, John, but it's heavy to me, but 315, 365, I go there with the shoulder shrug. So how you feel about that, John?
I think that's a great one, but here's the deal. I never really did shrugs, but what I did was a variation. This is where my traps took work from this type of exercise. In my strength career, right? We would do farmer's walk. So you're talking like 300 to sometimes 350 pounds in each hand, right?
Oh yeah.
And you pick that shit up. And you're walking as far as you can, right? Well, so your trap is like a fucking shock absorber. All that stress is going right through your trap. Well, what we would do to work on our conditioning for this is we would strap in. So our grips wouldn't go, they wouldn't come, we wouldn't lose grip. And you would walk that weight until you basically, what happened to your core when you kind of just folded your core? You just couldn't stand up anymore.
Fuck.
Well, the type of beating your traps take from doing that, because you might walk with that thing for, a minute and a half with that kind of load on your traps. That's a different type of work in the trap. And that's where mine were developed.
And hey,
go ahead, Rich.
I was just say, don't forget legs. I mean, women love an ass. Okay, so we can't forget squats, lunges, and guys, those are more of the things that I work in endurance sports. Man, when you put those pants on, and it looks like you forgot leg day. Women want a balanced body, okay, or men, whatever you're going.
I agree.
Doesn't matter,
brother.
So
I agree 100%.
There with you, right there.
Because
with you,
what the women want deep cheeks, don't they, Mark?
Here we go.
That's it, man. Look, I was working my glutes yesterday on that. What do they call it? The booty blaster.
Yeah.
And I thought of you, John. I was like, man, this is a weird time to think of another human like that. But I did, man. I was doing my squats.
That's right, baby.
Booty blaster. Putting work in.
That's it
for you.
As AJ said yesterday, he's going to work on the deep cheeks one rep at a time. That was good shit. But I agree, Rich. I mean, having a big round butt, I think is equally appreciated going both directions. I think no matter what man or woman, no matter what your sexual preference is, I think having a good strong butt is a really big part of an attraction to another human being.
Hey, John, I don't know if you saw my story yesterday. I'm sure you didn't, but I was hip thrusting 495. So we just gonna throw that on the table since we were talking about that. I know that's probably light to you, but that's heavy for me. All right, but
no, I mean that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
You can be tossing women off the bed, man.
I learned from Johnny, man.
It's gonna be pelvic region destruction over here, man.
Yeah, I learned from Johnny and Keith. Since we're talking about traps too, just to go back, well, how you feel about lateral raises, John?
Lateral raise, I think, is one of those that I think is really, really undervalued, meaning that people people will do them, but I don't think they do them with the type of intention that I think they should be used for. And if you really want, one of the things that I do is I'll use the lateral raise I'll start the workout off of it, because A, it gets my shoulders really warm, but then B, it fatigues the shoulders. So then when I go to press, like a standing barbell press or a dumbbell press, my shoulders A, are really lubed up, but then B, the weight feels so much heavier. And really what it comes down to, if I can get a great workout, with 100-pound dumbbell versus 120 or 130 or 40, I'm going to take that every day, because the 120, 30, 40 beats up the joint. The lighter weights, the muscle doesn't know how heavy that dumbbell is. The muscle knows the difficulty. So I'm a big connoisseur on using that lateral raise to just toast the shoulders to start the work. And you can't do that every time. Sometimes you can finish with it. But I think for a shoulder, I mean, as you can see, shoulders are one of my favorite deals. I think having not only the trap, but then having that big round cap.
Yep.
I think that's a huge part of what makes you look good in a t-shirt. Hence, you know, I mean, come on, man. Shit.
That's right.
Sexy,
right.
dude. Sexy.
All right, John, we need another exercise along with the narrow grip bench press.
Well, I think one thing that people tend to not understand how helpful can be with the arm, because everybody wants the arm all yoked up, is to be doing bis and tris at the same time. Because what you're doing is you're sending a shitload of blood into the arm as a whole. And rather than just filling up the back or filling up the front of the arm. So, I mean, it's rare that I'm going to do an exercise of bi or tri without if I'm going to do bis, I'm going to be doing tris at the same time. It's just I mean, for me, I feel like I get more out of it when I'm sending blood into my whole arm than just half. And so I think, you know, just basically start your arm workout as a supercell. And most people that try this, they're like, holy shit, that's A, it's efficient, and B, it feels great, you know. And when it comes down to it, what do we want? We want to enjoy, we want to feel good in our workout. When you can pair things together that makes you feel good, that you can see the result right now, how do you not want to do that shit again next week?
Yep.
In the gym with Jon and Marty, great segment, guys. Some good nuggets you guys dropped there. You had me laughing off the stage there. You guys got into
I definitely had to get my shit together with understanding where I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Christ almighty, man. The glass was half empty on my start of that goddamn segment. So I'm gonna have to realign. I'm gonna have to realign my position today. I shouldn't be thinking that way.
Here's the thing, Johnny. You got the boy, man. You got the boy wonder. You got the boy wonder superhero on your corner. You got the CMartyFit man. You got the man with the answers there. But Johnny, I got a question for you, brother, because we're the old guys here, and Marty and Marty and Rich are going to be old like us one day. John, is there an argument still to be made that as we age into our 50s, and I'm being very serious with my question right now, should we still be lifting heavy, or should we start to lay back a little bit because maybe the payoff is more about injury, longevity? And I'm not trying to sound like a pussy. I'm being very serious. Like, there's a point where it's like, you know what, Keith, do you really need to squat 315? Maybe you want to have knees that last you longer so you can trek with your kids. Like, at what point, Johnny? And I know you might say it all depends on your body, but I really want to hear your point of view on this, brother.
Yeah, 100%. And really what it comes down to, and in a way that we can describe this, is going to help everybody. Yes, it's relative. It's relative. So a lot of times people think heavy. Well, 15 years ago, I used to be able to do this. Well, that was 15 years ago. Right. You can still lift. And keep in mind, when I say heavy, that means that you're still keeping in good form and you're safe. Heavy doesn't mean, doing a bunch of dumb shit. So when we say lift heavy, lift heavy for what's heavy for you now. There's nothing wrong with that as long as it's safe. But on that level, especially as we get older, we realize that lifting heavy also takes more recovery. So there's a balance point there. And here's the thing. I've actually proven that as we get older, lifting heavier, and when I say heavier, just meaning having that variance is actually really helpful, because as men get older, they start to, we lose muscle mass if we don't play the game right. And so what we really want, strength, is function. And so we want to make sure that the time we're putting into our training actually translate into function. Not to say that doing things light is not good and healthy, but when you're 80, if let's just say that you've been cycling some heavy training into your regime twice a month, right? And you do that all the way. Now your heavy is going to be going down, but when you're 80, you're going to be considered freaking strong as an ox for an 80-year-old, right? Because you've trained heavy relative to you and your age. So I think letting go of heavy, well, first off, understanding heavy is the first thing, but letting go of heavy, I think that's going to really hurt you down the road.
So maybe in summarizing, Johnny, and using a page from your book to simplify it.
Yep.
Have awareness in the moment. Don't try to be a hero. Yes. As we, we all have this thing called an ego. And the ego tends to get us in more goddamn trouble, not only in this department, but all different departments. So if you can register that, hey, I need to challenge myself with heavier weights, with what's possible
for me to do today safely, that is your ticket.
Good. Richie, I see you leaning in here. Does something jive for you, Richie, as we were talking here?
Yeah, absolutely. Because what I can relate to is 15 years ago, I could do this, right? I mean, like when I had two arms, I was bench pressing well over 300 pounds. So I think what we have to be very cognizant of is as we age or our lives differ, and let's say we're getting back into the gym, is our emotional stability. We might have to update what our goals are. And as we do plateau and come down, which is just natural, we have to accept that. And we have to set the expectation knowing that that's going to happen going into it, and set up, certain coping mechanisms so we don't feel defeated when we're not hitting the same gains that we did when we were previously there.
I asked the question, boys. We'll wrap the segment up. I asked the question, Johnny, because my ego got in the way yesterday. Right? It was what was yesterday? Yesterday was Tuesday for me. I did legs day, and I found myself in the squat rack and in the deadlifts, and I was lifting heavy, and I was fine with it. But I found myself at a few points in my journey going, wait a minute, like, do I really need to be doing this right now? Right? And I found myself probably talking to my ego, Johnny, and I was like, okay, I don't need to probably put the extra 25 pounds on right now. You know what I mean? It was just one of those moments.
Yeah.
That's why I asked.
And you know what we can do to kind of help people with that is ask yourself a question. If I do this weight that I know that I'm kind of questioning, if I do this and I hurt myself, is that really worth it? Because now you're giving up your rhythm, you're giving up your routine, you're giving up your ability to train that muscle again next week. And most people go, I'm not willing to make that trade. So ask yourself a question. Before you do it, ask yourself that question.
It's exactly what I asked myself, actually. Before I put the extra couple plates on, I was like, do I really need to do this right now? Or is this going to set me back next week? And I didn't do it. I was like, that's why I asked the question, because I've gone through myself, and we got a good time. We're wrapping the segment up here. We got a good time with a great comment. I started with half mile a week. Now I'm up to 2 to 3 miles a day. Thanks, guys, and starting to run a bit. Good time. That's awesome, man. And you know what?
Right on, baby.
You know what? Good time. If you want to go for a run with me, we can start doing runs together on Mondays and Fridays, because I hate running, but I do them now, and it's just what I do. And I know it makes Richie happy when he knows Uncle Keith running too here. So, but all right, let's bring producer Flynn up on stage, Jimmy, before we wrap up the segment, and bring in Community Corner with our friend Mario Hernandez. I see him sitting in the green room there. But guys, let's quickly wrap up the show here today. Good show, Tina. I know that it wasn't maybe how it was baked, but it actually ended up with how it was baked. It ended up being, what I mean by that is that sometimes how we think it's going to go ends up being different than how it's going to go. But at the end of the day, it was a great show today. So
literally every time. That's like the beauty of producing any kind of event of any sort. You have a plan. It's just a guideline. It's not going to go to plan. You got to be flexible. You got to be willing to roll with it.
Yeah, exactly. So Flynn, what we got you here? Highlight for you today, Flynn, on today's show.
Fuck, the first thing that came to my mind was just rock hard cock.
I love the honesty though.
I'm like, what do I even do? That's what I always think of. Immediately when you ask me these questions, I think of the most ridiculous thing that happened on the show. I loved Daniel.
Yes.
I love his vibe. Yes. I love his energy. I love what he's bringing to LinkedIn. I love the fact that he was incredibly vulnerable in telling his story. And I think those are the kind of guests, those are the kind of conversations that we want to have. We don't want folks that pretend like everything's perfect all the time. We want to talk about the real shit that we've all been through and how we've come out on the other side.
Yeah, we make Daniel an honorary business athlete member, man, honorary member of the show. Daniel, if you're still listening, man, you come back any single time and bring that vulnerability to our show, because as Kristina said, you're the kind of human we want on our show. Johnny, what did you get from today's show, brother?
I loved our guests. Daniel, I think the way that he, pulled his pants down without even being asked to do it, I thought was pretty powerful. But I got to say, man, I think what probably hit me the hardest today was our very own Kristina's segment. That was good shit, man. I mean, that right there, there's a takeaway, and that was so simple and so easy. I just felt like in the whole damn show, if someone just could grab something easily and run with it, that was it.
Yes, I agree. Always a great segment.
Great job, Kristina.
Marty, what'd you take from today's show, brother?
I got 3 things.
Yes.
First one, Daniel was great.
Yes.
Sharing his story. Definitely want to get him back on and ask him more questions. Kristina, did you find him?
No, that was Keith. Yeah, that was all Keith.
Well, y'all been doing a good job of finding guests, so I just wanted to give both of y'all some credit.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Number 2, you said the show didn't go as planned. So I thought Jon Andersen quote popped in my head. He didn't say this. It just popped up in his voice in my head. I don't know why this happened, but I had to share with you guys. It doesn't matter how the cake gets baked, just as long as the cake got baked. That was what popped in my head.
Johnny,
John
that's a
never said it, but it's something he would say. All right.
You will now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And then number 3, John. Listen, players fuck up, man. We all. I caught you slipping today. It's okay.
Oh, brother, I'm
bounce back
you.
tomorrow. Don't let it happen again, or I'm gonna have some more jokes for you. So it's all good. Don't beat yourself up.
No, brother. This is. I learn more from a mistake than I do from not making a mistake. So
there you go.
Actually well received.
There you go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah.
And I leave Rich for the last one because I know Rich has a book of notes here, guys. So I know that Rich. So I'm going to pull my clock up here. So Richie, you're up, man. Pull your book up, pull your notes out, and what do you got for today's show, brother?
So one, I'm sorry, I love Daniel. Just inspirational. But I got to go with Jory too. I'm really excited to hear the article or read the article that she sends out. We learned that nutrition is not a one size fits all. We have to look at what our performance goals are. John, I mean, he huge on strength. Me, I'm huge more on the cardio side. So we're not our fitness or our nutrition plans are not going to look the same. So I'm excited to see what this article has to say.
Awesome, and it's in your inbox. She already sent it to us. So if she doesn't have your email, I'll forward it to you. But I know that she has sent it over to us already. Jory is on the ball. Thank you, Jory, for that. So, all right. So, guys, we're going to pivot to the community corner segment. So listen, my highlight was John's 87% stat during the lifestyle tip of the day, man.
Where'd you get that, John? Can you send us that article?
Where did you get that?
When it comes down to it, it's I've heard a lot of people, a lot of.
You made it up, didn't you? Funny? You fucking made it up.
No, not at all. No, not at all. It's some extraordinarily credible people that I listen to and get inspiration from use that stat all the time. It's actually a little low. It's gone up since that thing first came out. It's closer to 90% right now.
I love it, and that's what I like to have fun with the crew here. It's just funny because when you laid it out, I was like, because Johnny, your lifestyle segments have been power. All the segments they've just been power, man. The accountability check-in, Marty's and Johnny's and Kristina's just fucking hitting them here. So I think we're gonna have to get Richie one coming up here too. So, anyways, okay, guys, we got to pivot because we got somebody waiting for us patiently in the green room for our community corner. Marty, I know you got to rock and roll. Johnny, I know you like to stay, but I'm not sure what your plans are today. You're more than welcome to stick around if you want. Richie, you're more than welcome to stick around if you like. We are going to hang out with Mario Hernandez for a few minutes. We are going to celebrate the creator spotlight, and then we're going to pivot to business and branding. So those that want to stick around, please do. Those that want to exit, please do. That's what the show is all about. Keith and friends, keep rocking and rolling here. So Johnny, what are you up to today, man? You and Terry are heading back, aren't you?
Yeah, we're actually packing up, and we're going to be on the road heading back to California here shortly. Beautiful.
Will you drive safe? Richie, you sticking around or are you heading out, brother?
I got to head out. Gotta go get the work in.
You go and have yourself an exceptional day, and we'll be in touch along the way. Okay, pal? All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Richie. Marty, you have a good one, brother? I know you got a busy one today, too.
You too. Yeah. Back day. Got clients.
Nice.
So let's get to it.
I got yoga day today. Go after it, Marty.
All right. I'll
see you guys in the morning.
Tomorrow.
All right. See you guys. All right. So listen, Kristina, you and I left here, and we got obviously Mario in the green room here. I'm just going to get my mouse organized, but it's on some screen that I can't find. So I need to turn that screen off and bring the mouse. Yeah, there it is over there. Awesome. All right. So we are going to go to the segment of the show called the Community Corner. And Flinner, we are working a new segment into the show here with a guest. We have Mario Hernandez, who's been on the show before. We invited Mario on a number of weeks back. We talked with Mario in Center Stage Deep Dive, I believe it was. And in our Community Corner segment, we have somebody who we're going to discuss in a few moments. But before we do that, we're going to do the Creator Spotlight. And Jimmy, we are going to talk today about a mental fitness pioneer. Flynn, this creator is building when you told me this, Flynn, I was like, this is awesome.
Fucking boss. Yeah.
Yes. This creator is building the Nike of mental fitness, helping C-suites, founders, and elite athletes master their mind and performance. This person's a global speaker and coach, 2 TEDx talks under her belt, She delivers coaching and services to top brands like Nike, Amex, and Barclays. Today's Creator Spotlight for Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is somebody who is all the way from the London area of the planet. And Jimmy, I'm just going to I need to just do something here quickly. This creator,
drum roll for that long, Keith. Fuck.
Yeah, I know, it's so true, right? So today's Creator Spotlight for Mornings in the Lab is, drum roll, please, Kristina. Boom.
Hey.
Maya Rechura, I believe it is. Maya Rechura, UK's leading mental fitness expert who helps C-suites, business owners, and elite athletes become the top 0.1% by mastering their mind and performance. I assume she's probably a business athlete. She's building the Nike of mental fitness. And I'm sorry to say that she's been a 2-time TEDx speaker. I joke with you, Maya, because if you look at my profile, you know what I'm joking about. But I congratulate you for that accomplishment about being a 2-time TEDx speaker. But Kristina, why do we want to celebrate the think, feel, and perform like the top 1% Maya, who's our Creator Spotlight today?
So Maya posted the other day, I've been following her for a while, and she posted the other day that essentially she used her own exact techniques. She focuses on visualization as a way to get to peak performance. And 3 years ago, I believe she said, or 2 years ago, she started visualizing that she was going to be working with Nike and working with Nike on this concept of being the Nike of mental fitness. And recently, she just put out a post saying she has been acknowledged by Nike and is working with them as their first ever mental fitness trainer. To me, when you talk about building a personal brand, is there anything better than somebody who's saying, this is what I need you to do. This is what the systems that are going to help you, and integrate them into your life. Focus on the visualization. There's real power in this kind of activity. And then she's able to show you exactly how it's helped her in her life. To me, there's no better credibility or authority with that. And I think we're just like, this is the very, very low end, I think, of what we're going to be seeing from Maya. She's got great content. She's really, really prescriptive too about the way that you can use visualization in your day-to-day practices. So I think there's some real actionable things that we can take away. And I just think we're like watching something that's probably pretty special unfolding here.
Awesome. I'm looking at Maya here, like this post you talk about 3 years ago, mental fitness wasn't a thing. Today, I'm so excited to announce that I officially signed as Nike's first ever mental fitness trainer 6 days ago. That is fantastic. Congratulations to you, Maya. You know what I love about that, Kristina, is that you put your mind to something and you can accomplish it. Like I know that is so cliche, but Maya's proving it's true.
But there's skill, right? And I think that's what Maya's teaching us, is that it's not just about stare in the mirror and say the same shit over and over and over again. Right. Manifesting, that's not actually what it is. There's a rewiring of the brain that needs to happen when you start to feel these things, which is why visualization is so powerful. Feeling it generates an emotion, and that emotion is what allows us to actually do the rewiring and change the outcome. So it's not just blankly staring in the mirror and saying, you are strong, you are confident. It's about saying, there's actual practical things that you can be doing in your life.
Yes. So you can connect with Maya on LinkedIn to learn more about mastering mental fitness. And Maya, we want to hear from you. So who's a creator in your orbit, Maya, that you think is doing some great things? Come knock on our door, come hang out on the show. And we want to spotlight somebody, Maya, you think should be celebrated in our Creator Spotlight at Mornings in the Lab. Good find on this one, Kristina. What a great find. I'm excited to, I hope we get a chance to get Maya on the show. I'd love to talk to her.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Dream guest. Yeah. I'd love that.
100%. Okay, so listen, let's keep moving the show along here. I'm excited. We got another guest coming up here, and this is the first
brand new.
Yeah, brand new segment. First part of the show here. We have joining us, Jimmy. Let's bring him up on stage. Let's bring up on Mario and Charlie. What's going on, gentlemen?
Man, it's great to see you again, Keith, Kristina. How's everything going?
Awesome. Good to see you, Mario Hernandez. Good to see you, Jose Carlos Charlie Sorrentiano. I think how I pronounce your last name.
That's probably the exact perfect pronunciation. You just nailed it.
Something like that. Exactly.
Hey, Charlie, how you doing?
Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you both. And Kate, I love your pronunciation, Keith, about my name.
just trying the best I can, my friend. So Mario, we sat down a couple weeks back and said, hey, we want to do a community corner. We want to celebrate some human beings. We want to celebrate some awesome people. And you're like, I know somebody. You're like, I know somebody. And we celebrated Carlos last week on the show. And you're like, okay, we got to get on the show with Carlos. But Mario, why are we here today with Carlos, Charlie, and myself and Kristina? Let's talk a little bit about our friend Carlos here today.
I love it. I love it. I was looking forward to this. When we're in the social impact space, we always talk about going at it in isolation, and instead of that, strength in numbers. And right now, I think the world needs to find all these creators that are pushing the needle forward. Charlie being one of them. I mean, I met Charlie about a year ago. I was absolutely inspired by his mission, his personality, and so I thought that he'd be the best creator to just get on this show, given the energy that he has naturally. He's just one of those addictive personalities, and what he's doing is absolutely incredible. So, Charlie, why don't you introduce us? Introduce yourself a little bit to everybody, and then we can talk about vertical sports and the good that you're doing.
Well, thank you so much, Mario, for this opportunity, and also to both of you for having me here. So I'm Jose Carlos Charlie Sarmiento, Keith. I'm very excited to be here. And basically, I have been an athlete all my life. I was a baseball player for Guatemala national youth team for 7 years as a shortstop. Then I transitioned to soccer. I played for Guatemala U17 national team as well for 2 years as a central forward. And the last 10 years, I have been an extreme athlete. 9 years as an ultra trail runner and 1 year as an extreme triathlete. Right now, I'm competing in the X3 World Tour. Going to Norseman next year is the toughest extreme triathlon in the world, and I love to go beyond my body and my inner self. And the last 14 years, I have been a corporate executive. I used to work for PepsiCo Bottlers in Latin America. And then the last 5 years, I have been doing my startups in the sports space. I decided to combine my two passions, sports and business, and that's what I am right now. And this fifth startup that I'm launching, and the first one in the US, is a sports tech company. It's a platform that matches endurance athletes with brands to get sponsorships based on performance data. I always say that you can be a sex symbol in social media and a terrible athlete, or you can be a great athlete and a terrible community manager or influencer, right? So what we did is we create an algorithm that basically ranks the athlete based on social media performance and training performance. We call it the VTX score, and that's how we are ranking these athletes and try to promote them more meritocratically with the brands based on those data. Right now, I just moved. I moved to Austin 2 years ago. I became a portfolio company of an accelerator there, and yesterday I moved to Indiana to continue this journey. So I just arrived in Indiana. I'm about to receive the apartment here that I'm gonna live. So I'm gonna be back and forth between Austin. But that's the journey of an entrepreneur. You know, you have to embrace the obstacle. I drove 16 hours to be here, 10 hours 2 days ago, and 6 hours yesterday. And right now I'm here to do this podcast with you to share all this.
I love this. And you know what, right off the top, Coach, we need to connect Jose and Mario with Rich, because Rich is in Austin. Rich is an ultra marathoner. Rich just actually departed the show. He had some obligations to get to. But Rich, if you're tuning in right now, man, I got to connect you with Mario, because Mario, you're in Austin too, right? Mario, you go back and forth between Austin and Columbia, right, Mario?
That's exactly right. So I'm in Bogota right now, and I'm traveling back to Austin in 2 months' time. But yeah, we'd love to connect with Rich. I mean, that's the idea. And you know, you see Charlie and all the good that he's doing, and he's just like the business athlete, like icon.
Yes, I know you are. And Charlie, you got to connect with Rich too, because Rich is an ultra marathoner and he's also an entrepreneur as well. So I think what you're doing would actually make a lot of sense to connect you guys to get some business going together as well. So, Coach, a question for you, Coach, for either Mario or Carlos.
Well, First of all, let's comment on the fact that you just drove 14, 16 hours and you don't even have your apartment yet. And you're like, I'm going to be doing this thing. We talk about the value of showing up. So first of all, we really appreciate it. It would have been very easy for you to say, nah, it's not going to work. So we really appreciate you taking the time. I think for me, from my perspective, this part of Community Corner is highlighting people that are doing a lot of amazing things from a social impact perspective. And I think what I would love to hear more about, and maybe Mario, you start us off, is where does that fit into how you're doing things, not only from a personal side of things, but how you're looking at this from a much larger perspective and a larger impact view?
No, I love it. And that's one of the reasons. So when Charlie and I started to get to know one another, he is obviously, doing all this data for athletes and combining them with the sponsorships, partnerships with corporate. But he does a lot of the work is with underprivileged athletes that have a much harder time to get that spotlight. And maybe Charlie, you can talk a little bit about that, because that's the social impact factor that I was so inspired by, seeing that he can bring or provide those opportunities. And I think that, Charlie, you've lived it yourself, which is, when a lot of these entrepreneurial ventures start off, it comes off because of a personal background experience. And maybe that's something that you can dive into and just inspire the rest of us.
Yeah, yes. So basically, I have been facing those challenges of how I can live pursuing an athlete dream. So in my journey, I have the opportunity and the blessing to be sponsored by more than 14 brands these last 10 years. And it is not an easy journey, considering also that I have 4 children that live in Austin. So trying to mix everything, all the responsibilities that you have as a human, it's very challenging. So I said it shouldn't be that complicated to get a sponsorships, because brands need some exposure, but now the brands are looking more for authenticity in their brand awareness. So I said, it needs to be a way that all those people that they have 500 followers, 1,000 followers, it doesn't matter how many followers, but for us, it's how authentic and positive you are impacting that community. It could be 500, it could be 5 million, it could be 1 million. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, is how positive are those posts that you are sharing with the community, and also to be a reliable athlete, right? Like if I have a 6-pack and I go into the social media, I'm gonna get some likes, but that's not what we are pursuing, right? We want to see those athletes that go to the gym early in the morning. They kick their asses every day. They want to be better every day, and they go to perform. And maybe that's not the race, and it wasn't that good, but that's a good story, because at the end of the day, it's not about the finish line. It's about the journey of getting there, what inspire others. So that is what we are looking for, and that's kind of what I have been doing. I just finished my book. It's gonna be released in English in a couple weeks. In Spanish, it's already here. Let me show you. So basically, that is what it's about, and the journey. The journey is here. It calls El Verdadero Ultraman from
Nice.
De Soñador a Conquistador. In English is The Real Ultraman from Dreamer to Achiever.
Nice.
So basically, it's this is the journey that I put in order to give back to the community what I have learned. But basically, and the people that you are going to interview soon, the celebration that you just did, I did my own process of rewire my brain that I'm putting on service in the book, in order to solve my traumas through sports. So that's kind of the journey that I have had, and just wanted to give back to the world something that I have experienced.
I love that, Charlie. So as we work towards wrapping up the segment, what advice would you have for somebody who is considering being a social impact entrepreneur or is an aspiring impact entrepreneur, what advice would you give that person?
I would say, do the things for something greater than yourself and share with others all your lessons that you have, because you never know who are you gonna teach something, who's gonna teach you something, but that light, it will help to shine other people's lives.
Mm-hmm. Mario, could you add to that?
I think he just touched upon something fantastic. So always finding a mentor and someone to mentor, right? And I think Charlie just mentioned that beautifully. Second, always applying those four powerful words. How can I help? How can I be of service? And just doing that opens up all these possibilities, all these opportunities. My belief is that the future of entrepreneurship is going to be impact based. If there's anything that the pandemic taught us, is that personal wealth, personal success is going to be ephemeral if our communities around us are in shambles. And so, nevertheless, whether you're looking for a greater profit, purpose, they have to go in parallelly aligned. And that growth of profit just fuels purpose, and purpose fuels profit. And that's just like that evolution is already being seen from the entrepreneurs, professionals, and corporate, absolutely everything. So that's just an inspiring time for myself. And I just want to highlight creators and go at it in numbers and strengthen numbers by community.
I love that. Carlos, how can humans find you? How can they connect with you? How can they be inspired by Charlie?
Well, they can find me through my social media and Instagram as Ultra Sarmiento, or they can find me in LinkedIn as Charlie Sarmiento, or they can find me in the fifth dimension as a spiritual healer.
Oh, I like that part. Charlie Sarmiento in the fifth dimension as a spiritual healer. No, we're not talking about the Matrix. No, we're talking about the fifth dimension. Mario, I'm going to give you the closing word today, brother. How do you want to close it up today with Charlie and yourself for today's inaugural Community Corner segment brought to us by Noble and Mario Hernandez. Mario.
No, thank you, Charlie, for joining us. Keep inspiring others. We'll be supporting you in every race as well. Follow Charlie, follow his journey, follow Vertical Sports, because it's absolutely changing the landscape of the athletic, industry itself. And again, find the person today that you can actually thank, be grateful for, reach out to, and see how you can help, and just keep pushing this forward. Reach out to me as well if you want to be a part of Community Corner. We'll just highlight your impact venture. And again, it's all about doing this together.
Oh, awesome. Flynn, we got a good co-host here on this last segment of the show here with our friend Mario Hernandez. You're muted, coach. No, you're muted. There you go.
Oh, shit.
There you go.
I was saying, Mario, Charlie, thank you so much for taking the time, for stepping away from your hectic lives that we know are wild and coming on the show. We're excited to get to know you both more. And Mario, this is already a great start to what's going to be a really positive segment. So we're excited to add it, and we can't wait to continue to connect with y'all.
Yeah, I agree with Coach Mario. Great job, man. Thanks for leading this for us today. And Charlie, keep up the awesome work, brother. And the fact that you did all that driving and you show up today on the show, man, I got a lot of respect for that, man. I'm going to keep following you on the feeds there, Charlie. I'm going to keep watching the work you're doing and keep being inspired by you. And Nation, go connect with Charlie. Go connect with Mario. He's doing good work there on Noble. And we're going to bring Mario back for our ongoing Community Corner segment. But we hear the words. Mario, we hear the music walking us out the door. Mario, what do you got planned for today, brother? Give us something to lean on before we say goodbye to you.
You got to go for my daily swim. I didn't get to do it today at 5:30 in the morning because my son was up from like 1 to 3 a.m. I don't know why, but I still got to make it happen. Show up, right? So I'm doing that, and then just pushing some impact ventures forward. Something exciting is happening right now this next month, and I'll be sharing that along with all of you as well.
Oh, excited to hear that. What about you, Charlie? What do you got going on today, brother? You getting yourself settled in there today in the end, or what do you got going on today?
No, I'm going to receive the apartment right now. Go and buy some stuff to deliver tonight. but that's my focus is to food, a roof to sleep, and be thankful about everything that we have today.
Fantastic.
And thank you, Mario, for this opportunity, and Keith and Kristina with K, and Noble with K, and Vertical with K. I really appreciate this time and the energy you have, guys. That's unbelievable. I really like it, and I only wish you the best to keep inspiring me and others as well.
Fantastic. Hey, I'm Keith Bilous on behalf of Mario, Jose, Marty, Johnny, Jory, Coach Flynn. Fuck, good time, everybody. Daniel Intronella. Have I missed anybody, Coach?
Oh my gosh, no! I think we're Rich, John, like all of them. We had such a packed show today.
Great show, guys. Thank you, Mario. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for hanging out with us. Charlie, have a good day. Jimmy, I appreciate you on the buttons. Felix, we'll see you guys later. Have a good one, nation.